Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Dr. Somji. Today is actually really important because we're going to be talking about 7 ingredients that you should look to avoid if you're prone to breakouts or you just have acneic skin in general, or you're going through a kind of bad phase with your skin. Then you should really be cutting these products out. Now, that's not to say that the products that have these ingredients in are bad. I just personally wouldn't use them. Synthetic fragrances. Now, as you know, for the last, more than 5 years now, I've been developing my own skincare range. And one of the balances that we had was to include fragrances or not to include fragrances. Now, obviously, because I'm a skin obsessed person, then I will always says no fragrances. But then when we talk to people to distribute, they said, well, you know, the first thing that people do when they put skincare on their hand is they do that. So the smell has he has that sort of ethereal effect. You know, it's a connection. It's a smell that you might remember from childhood. If you enjoy putting it on, then you're going to get the benefits from the skincare, and also you're going to smell great. But the research is so overwhelming that if you have synthetic fragrances within products, it not only increases your sensitivity of the skin, it can also lead to kind of irritation. You can also lead to a whole cascade of inflammatory markers that mean that you'll start being allergic to absolutely everything. It also impairs the skin barrier and also can therefore actually promote acne formation. So although it's nice to have a product that smells nice, I think having fragrances is a big no-no. There are other ways around it. You've got things that just dampen ingredients. So people say, well, why do you have to use fragrances in products in the first place? And that's a really good question. If you smell things like the Inculus, the Ordinary, they smell very placid. But that's because there's very few ingredients in there. And what you're getting is you haven't got any good ingredients to really mask. As soon as you start putting proper ingredients, many different types of ingredients within a product, they react with each other, and what you get is a kind of sometimes not a nice smell. But there are masking agents that you can use that are very safe for skin, and that's what a lot of the more sophisticated skin brands are using. That's what I use in my skincare, and it means that the product doesn't actually smell that bad at all. In fact, it may actually smell quite nice, but you're fragrance free. Another thing that people include into products to try and make them smell better is essential oils. And essential oils, especially heavy oils, are quite comedogenic. So they block the pores, they almost replace the barrier too much. They clog up the barrier. You don't get as much exfoliation, especially if you've got oily skin types. Then you get debris building up around the hair follicles, in the hair follicles. Then you're gonna get those under the skin spots, even cysts, things that you don't want. Is a really bad idea. Decleo, most brands send me free stuff. Decleo sent me this for Christmas last year, and whilst Decleo is a great brand for people with maybe like good skin that just want to hydrate, or aged skin that you've got an impaired skin barrier and you want to build your collagen and you want to just feel a little bit nicer, these essential oils smell really nice. But if you've got acneic skin and you're prone to breakouts, it's a no-no. On their website, they do go through things with acneic skin, but hey, most oils are a little bit too heavy. You got to check that whether it's comedogenic or not. In my range, yes, I do have some. I have a retinol oil, and I also got a day oil as well. But I made sure that they're not too heavy, not too thick, because you don't want to block that skin barrier. One thing that you need to really remember is your whole routine. So if you want to reduce synthetic perfumes, you've got to make sure that there's no synthetic perfumes in your hair. So your shampoo, products, you've got to really look at that too. And that's a continued theme, because when you're in the shower, some of that does go on the face, and that tends to be one of the chief causes of irritation and sensitivity. So it's really important just to think about that too. The third thing that is bad is sodium lauryl sulfate. So, you'll see it as SLS. It's not a nice. It's not a nice thing. It's actually included in a lot of hair products and shampoos, but it really increases irritation, inflammation, damages the skin barrier, but it's, you know, at the end of the day, it's in most cleansers, or it used to be in most cleansers, but it's in, like I said, in shampoos, it's still there. If you look on the L'Oreal website, they'll talk about, you know, some of the beneficial effects of SLS, but you know what? It's good up to a certain concentration. It's proven to help clean the skin, clean the scalp, of course, but it can damage that skin barrier. And where it damages that skin barrier, it increases the inflammation. And if you've got acne, you're stripping the skin of those essential ceramides. Now you've got whole ranges that are based on ceramides, you know, CeraVe being one of them, and that's one of the most popular. But we're going to talk about ceramides too, because there are different things. Sometimes you can over supplement your barrier, as we talked about with essential oils. So you have to be, it's that balance, and you have to be careful. But generally, most skincare products nowadays won't have SLS in there, but it's worth checking anyway. The next product that you shouldn't have if you have acne is isopropyl myristate, as well as isopropyl palmitate as well. These are both penetration enhancers. They really are used in like protective balms. So actually SkinCeuticals do a Hydra Balm, which is great for use after things like lasers and ablative treatments and resurfacing treatments. But it can block the pores, so it's comedogenic. So, you know, there's a right place, right time for all of these things. Even if you use things like Aquaphor, even this, for example, which is popular, La Roche-Posay balm, which is really popular. Some people put this on like nappy rash and all sorts of things. It's a soothing, repairing cream. But if you layer this, you layer anything too thick, it's gonna be comedogenic. So, you know, I think it's just a word of warning and cautiousness, but I wouldn't put it in any products now because there's so many other things that you can add. You've got olive oil derived ceramides to help the barrier, for instance, which I put into my own skincare. You've got loads of things that you can do. So, you know, these type of products, these type of ingredients, you don't really need anymore. So I don't know why people put them in products, but they unnecessarily cause breakouts, which is not a good idea. The next products to avoid are denatured alcohol, SD alcohol 40, ethanol, as well as isopropyl alcohol. They're all seriously drying for the skin barrier. You just put alcohol on the skin and it becomes really, really dry. If you damage that skin barrier, it's going to lead to not only inflammation, but it also will help that cycle of events to cause more spots, acne, things coming up that we don't like. There are so many products with denatured alcohol in, and most of them, when I'm looking at the list that I've written down on my phone, you are just everyday stuff. So you've got like nail-based coat strengthening, for instance. All of these hairsprays, a lot of them have denatured alcohol. A lot of shampoos, moisturizing shampoos, enough actually have that in. Certain Arbonne resurfacing pads. You know, there's a whole host of products with denatured alcohol. Even, you know, one of the favorites that I used to use, Moroccan Oil Perfect Defense Protect, has denatured alcohol in it. So, you know, there's so many products with denatured alcohol. So you really do need to be very, very careful when you're looking at skincare products, because one of the, even the price of products doesn't denote whether they have denatured alcohol. So for example, if you've ever been on a flight, La Prairie, which is like, I don't know how many hundreds of pounds and how they justify it, but a lot of their products have denatured alcohol. When I had a look, the La Prairie Skin Caviar Liquid Lift had denatured alcohol in it. The Platinum Rare Cellular Night Elixir had alcohol in it. Why would you do that? So, I mean, it's beyond me. So I really think this is something that you have to be careful with, because even your known high street brands, as I've written down, the Neutrogena Invisible Daily Defense Face Mist, SPF, has denatured alcohol in it. So how can I stress it even more? You know, just really look at the back of the pack, look at the ingredients, make sure those ingredients are not in there. We're listing them below in the description, just so you can have that little cheat sheet when you're looking at the ingredients. And like all of my videos, when you've seen, and if you haven't seen them, I always go through nearly every single ingredient just to make sure that everything is okay before you put it on your skin. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a story about ingredients that, a certain ingredient that I don't recommend for skin. So I went to Iceland And Iceland's a fantastic country, and you get the Blue Lagoon there, which is incredible. So it's great for healing skin. The sulfur helps, you know, with acne and things like that. But here's one of the things: when you go to the spa there, they give you products with sea salt in there. And you're like, hold on a minute, I'm just using this nice sulfur, I'm making sure that, you know, everything's nice and natural, and then you're giving me sea salt scrubs on my skin. That's gonna cause acne. So I went for a massage there because everyone said massages were fantastic. I, you know, put the mud on and everything, all that sort of stuff, bathe in the sea. There's some pictures somewhere from that time period. And then I had a massage, and they used a sea salt scrub, and I broke out with so many spots on my back. It was unbelievable. You don't want to be using sodium chloride. Sodium chloride makes your food taste better. And if you put too much in, it'll also give you a bad heart. So be very careful. It's also very bad for the skin. It damages that skin barrier, dries the skin. It causes all sorts of problems and irritations. So sea salt, all of those sea salt spa things, remove it. As nice as the Blue Lagoon is, they need to change their massage protocol. The last ingredient that you should actually avoid too much of if you have acne are products that are targeted just with ceramides. Now, we know this is controversial, so just don't jump the gun and start going crazy. Ceramides are an essential part of your skin barrier. Skin barrier health is fantastic to maintain and control acne. But what I've noticed is that when you're layering too many ceramide products, just think about what these products contain. So if we look at CeraVe, it contains glycerin, which is fantastic, but it contains a number of other emollients and sometimes thicker coverage for that skin barrier. Now, I think it's just important just to supplement with the ceramides that you need, and maybe only use one ceramide product within your routine towards the end for that skin barrier. Don't layer them up, because just the mechanical layering of multiple ceramide products coupled with kind of that almost balm-like consistency, then you're going to be physically comedogenic. So you're basically going to be blocking the pores. So not too many thick creams. And that's what I just need to actually just, you know, highlight. Things that products like CeraVe are fantastic for your skin barrier and fantastic for acne-prone skin, but I really don't believe that you should be layering it. And I get a lot of patients that go through the whole range, applying salicylic acid cream, plus a hydrating serum, and then plus another cream on the top. I think that's too much. I think you should stick to just one ceramide product within your routine. And as long as you do that, you should be absolutely fine. And even as far further than that, if you've got only a light ceramide serum during the day, absolutely fine. If you're using it in the nighttime and you feel that if you're using something thicker in the nighttime and you think that that's breaking you out, just drop it down to using it once daily, and then you can see. So it's all about the experiment of skin. You'd be surprised what can be comedogenic, and then when you look online, you say, are ceramides comedogenic? Of course they're not, but when they're mixed with other formulations, and when you look in a lab and you make a ceramide formulation, you want it to be a little bit of a thicker consistency. So definitely don't layer too many ceramide serums. Sometimes, you know, less is more, and you can have too much of a good thing. If you've got any other ingredients that you want me to talk about that might be relevant for acne, just let me know. There are so many other videos, so if you click subscribe, you'll be able to see all of my videos, not only on skincare, also skincare treatments, and just everything in general, really, to be honest. If you like this video, click like. Also, don't forget, if you've got any questions, I'm always here to help.